we showed you one of our agronomical practices, and that was the brooming. Got a good feedback with the video. Now we're going to show you grooming. This is very aggressive practice. This is another one that you can't do in the heat. You have to have healthy greens to even do this. In fact, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I would only do this once or twice a year because our greens weren't healthy enough. Now that we got a much healthier stand, I could do this probably once every 2 weeks or so. It goes to show you how much progress our greens have made in the last several years, which we're really excited about. So we know the club championship's coming up. We know last weekend's we had it. The greens weren't near as good as we want them to be because of the rain. When you have 4 inches of rain, there's not much you could do about it. So we had them in pretty good shape, but this weekend we really want the greens to be pretty much spotless for you guys. It's important to us as a staff to provide you guys with the best conditions that we can, and we take a lot of pride in it, and we work really hard. So this is the grooming right here. The key to this is to not go too deep with it. Some people confuse grooming with verticutting. Grooming, we just want to tickle the grass. You can see the lines that we have in there. That stands the grass up so we get a better cut, kind of like the broom, but it's also cut in the stolons in the bent grass that we have, and it will promote more bent grass. I know in my videos prior, or my reports prior, I talked a lot about bent grass. That's a pretty detailed subject that we're not going to really get into today, but we'll discuss this a little bit. So when I cut those rhizomes, I'm getting more of a dense grass, a dense canopy. We're providing new growth. We're taking out anything old and getting more growth laterally. That's just from this grooming right now. This might be my favorite practice on a golf course. You have to be experienced at what you're doing, and you have to know your greens to do this. But I find that we get the best results from this as far as ball roll and density. Firmness too. This is going to firm up the greens because we're cutting out any grass in there that's dead and that's weak, plus providing new growth. So I'll show you the machine in a minute. One thing I want to talk about too is we will pick up some speed on the greens with this, but our intentions are not to ever go for green speed. As I've always learned, especially in college, my professors never talked about speed and how you pick up speed. When you're chasing speed, that's when you run into problems with thin greens, and you lose, some courses lose the greens because all they're doing is chasing speed. The way I go, and the way I've been taught from other superintendents, is you want to have strong agronomical practices. That produces a good ball roll. It produces firm greens, and you do get speed if you're doing your practices properly. Just because a green is fast does not mean it's good, because we're not just looking at ball roll on the green, we're also looking at what your ball does when you hit it from the fairway or your chip shots. And for instance, if you have a fast green that members like to brag at certain clubs, but they're thin, the ball will skip across the green and you won't have the action on it that you need. These are all things that I'm sure golfers don't think about, but as superintendents, I have to think about. I want you to hit a 90-yard shot, and I want you to have action on that ball if you hit a good shot. My goal here as a superintendent is not to torture you guys with fast greens and make it impossible to play and make it impossible to sink putts. I'm trying to reward you for good shots. So this will help out with that too. So if you're 90 yards out and you click that wedge, you're going to get the action on the ball that you want. And like I said, if the greens are thin and there's no grass on it or there's no good root system, the ball skips across those greens from a chip shot, and you're not getting what you want as a golfer. And you get frustrated, but you don't realize that it's actually the condition of the green. So that's why I'm always going for plant health first, because of all the other shots that are involved with golf. like I said, this will provide speed, so I don't want to not say that, but this is the proper way to get speed. I should say that. So I'm going to show you this here real quick. This is the grooming part that I showed you on the green. We have 2 of these mowers, so we can only do this on closed days if we want to get all 18 greens done. I'll make a quick pass and show you exactly how it works. As you was taking that video, you could see all the grass that was thrown out. That's right here's a pile of it. There's a lot of brown in there. That's the death that we want to get out. Thin it up a little bit, and then we're going to come in and we're going to top dress on top of this, so everything will grow in and we'll get more density. And like I said, a little more detailed stuff and a little more information than you probably need. This is also a good way to get more bent grass in your greens, because bent grass is stoloniferous, which means it grows laterally. So it's almost like your house plant. When you cut your house plant trying to get new growth, you're cutting the dead off so it will fill out. Same concept on the greens. Like I said, we're trying to provide a firm green with a good ball roll. I want you to make putts from 12 feet in. That's our goal as superintendents. We're always striving for speed, but this is the proper way, in my opinion, to get speed. That's why you can't do this in the summer and stuff. I hope that video works out, and I'm going to give you another video of the top dressing that we do on top of this. Thanks. Is that better?